Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are at round 4 of our Swiss stage here in Little Squid League 32. My name is Nato, and I'm joined here by Matt. We now see our final game of the Swiss stage between Glitter Gel Pens and White Siege.
And I believe I've seen Glitter Gel Pens a lot in LSL, so I'm really excited to see them back. And White Siege, I haven't seen them before, so I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table. But Glitter Gel Pens, definitely a team that's been around in LSL for a while, so I'm excited to see them back. And I don't know what to expect from White Siege, so I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup, as this is our last 3 games of group stage before we move on to the brackets.
Yeah, both of these teams are punching toward the top of their group here with a 2-1 record for the day. One of these teams is looking to try to make it a 3-1 as they go toward top cut. And yeah, to your point, Matt, I am really excited to see Glitter Gel Pens continue to participate here. I feel like they've been around just about for forever. My own team has competed against them, had the pleasure of doing that several times now. And I, too, don't know as much about White Siege, but they are definitely doing well today. They're 2-1 for the day, just as Glitter Gel Pens are as well, and I think we'll see a great matchup between these two teams. So as we move into our final group stage matchup, we have Rainmaker on Scorch to start us out, then Barnacle on Dime, and finally Splat Zones on Museum D'Alfonso.
I think going into this, Rainmaker, we've seen how fast it is recently. We've seen how fast these teams can go past these checkpoints, so I feel like we could be seeing another really fast game. And then we immediately slow down when we come to Clamblets on Barnacle and Dime, and then kind of pick it up a little bit again with Splatstone's Museum. So really exciting how these are going to go. You know, Rainmaker, Clamblets, Zones, all completely different kind of play styles you have to play on here. You know, you got to go a little fast, you got to know when to move back, you got to know when to push or not, and with Splat Zones, you just got to paint.
Absolutely. And to your point, in my experience, Scorch Rainmaker basically goes, let's try to get the first check as soon as possible and then make a crazy push into the pit and try to get down to like 30, whereas Barnacle and Dime is, why don't we wait 4 minutes for some team to get a wipe and then maybe we'll push to like 20 points remaining or something. Kind of two totally different play styles in my experience, but again, we don't know 100% what to expect out of these two teams, so I think once Scorch Rainmaker goes down, we'll have a much better sense of what to expect. And again, to your point, Museum D'Alfonso, we've seen all varieties of different types of play on this map today. It's generally just paint the ground, but depending on the comp, we can see all sorts of different gameplay. So as we go into our first map mode, Rainmaker Scorched Gorge, we're seeing a tent umbrella coming out on the side of Glitter Gel Pens, and the Dapples coming out from the side of White Siege. I'm really excited to see what they're going to try to accomplish with this tent umbrella here, Matt.
And going in right away with this, we do see the pop going into White Siege's favor, and Glitter Gel Pens sitting back with that tent, trying to get whatever picks that they can.
Yeah, tent already being sent across. You know, that weapon is not necessarily something we see a whole lot in low level, but it is something that can be super duper powerful if you know what you're doing about it. And it looks like White Siege, although they're one down, it looks like both of the players, both of their frontliners are pushing up pretty far here. It hasn't really gone in their favor as they're both forced to back up, but already seeing pretty aggressive moves out of White Siege.
And right away, we do see 3 go down on the side of White Siege, and we do see Glitter Gel Pens immediately taken up with that Rainmaker, and they are going to be clearing the checkpoint, and they want to go further in with this push here. We do see that Jet taking a higher spot up there, but the ballpoint taking them out there, and White Siege is trying to respond back there, but the 10 with the Rainmaker getting some extra points on the board, that's going to be really helpful for them. But it looks like this might be the end of their push.
Yeah, I think they might try for the cap here. It looks like they're trying to cheese some more points here. Man, that was an exceptionally well-timed play from Glitter Gel Pens. They saw that the Kraken had come out from that 96 gal deco on the side of White Siege, and they just said, I'm going to try to pop this Rainmaker, get as many points as I can. And 26, Matt, is actually a really good push on this map, in my opinion. Don't forget, because you're going into the low ground, it gets harder and harder to defend the further you push.
Yeah, so going into this, they break that Rainmaker and they want to get set up for this push there. There goes that Kraken and Inkjet combo. We do see the Kraken running in there, trying to get whatever picks that they can here. They're going in for the Gal, and they just barely get that push. That's not even the Gal, that was the shot. And it looks like the shot going down there. And now with 3 minutes left, Glitter Gel Puns are in a good spot. Down to 26. White Siege, they haven't been able to push there, but they do still have some time on their hands. So if they can get their specials ready, get a few picks on the board, push in for that checkpoint, that's going to be really good for them. But for now, it looks like we're kind of at a standstill right now, as Glitter Gel Pens doing a really good job of playing defense.
Yeah, the standstill is sort of a stabilization here. White Siege continues to use this kind of hyper-aggressive Kraken here to try to open up a path for their team, but it seems like every single time they try to open that path, there's a really well-placed Zuka from the opponent on Glitter Gel Pens to take out the Rainmaker, as another one is going down from Glitter Gel Pens. They're going to have to try to get back into mid. Everyone has burned their specials except for the Reef Slider at this point. They're able to pick off the Tentabrella. They might try to pick up Rainmaker here, and 3 go down on the side of Glitter Gel Pens. Is just Pink trying to defend.
And now we do see all these picks happening. White Siege, they have that Rainmaker, and they're going in right for that checkpoint, but they don't get it just in time. The Jet canceling it out, and that's going to be really good for Glitter Gel Pens. They're trying to pop that Rainmaker, but they're doing a really good job of this defense, and they're rushing in right away to try to get the picks. They pick up the Rainmaker, but no, another 3 down, and now looks like this might go into White Siege's favor as they pop the Rainmaker and take that checkpoint.
That was a critical series of plays from there, and we see Pink being taken out by Winter here on the Dapples. That was an excellent Reef Slider, knowing exactly where the opponent was going to be standing. Don't forget that Glitter Gel Pens has pushed to 26. They have to get somewhere down in this pit area past the pole to take the lead. They're at 53 right now, but the Zuka comes out from the Tentabrella. The combination of the shield and the Zuka taking out the Rainmaker. I don't know where this push is going to land.
And with just a minute left, the Dapple's going down. This is looking really good for Glitter Gel Pens, but they pick that Rainmaker back up. The Inkjet trying to take them out, and we do see this hero shot moving around. They do get picked up, but they get the Rainmaker just in time. Tenebrella there to assist there, and that's going to look really good for Glitter Gel Pens as now White Siege gets backed up.
White Siege has gotten backed up to mid. It looked like they were trying to play the long game up there on that plat. They do still have 2 members close to the grates here. It's looking like Glitter Gel Pens is choosing to drop the Rainmaker close to the right pit, and I actually really like that play here, Matt. It requires White Siege to go a lot further just to make another push. If they had left it up in their plat area, they might have been able to get one of those sneaky multiple down pushes, and with only 15 seconds left, it's looking like White Siege is going to have to make a major effort here to take this one back.
And they are going to have to, because now they are gonna force Glitter Gel Pens into a overtime period. The Zap goes down there, and this is their chance to push up here. 2 down. The 10 has their special ready. There goes that Zuka. The rain coming in there. The Zuka takes them out, and that's gonna be game 1 going to Glitter Gel Pens.
You know, I just want to say that the Zuka stopped multiple pushes, whether that be through just straight up splatting the Rainmaker or by providing enough distraction that the teammates could take out the Rainmaker during that game. Really amazing play from both the Zuka players, that's the Tentabrella and the vanilla splatter shot on the side of Glitter Gel Pens to take that game 1.
So going into game number 2, I feel like on this one, I feel like Glitter Gel Pens are going to be a little bit more cautious with the moves they make, because Clan Blitz, you can have the lead, and then all of a sudden 3 super clams go flying in your direction, and all of a sudden the lead is turned with an extra 10 points ahead. So I think they're going to take this next game a little bit more cautiously. But I feel like White Space, not White, what am I thinking? White Space. I'm thinking of it more. I think White Siege is gonna be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to this game. So I feel like we're gonna see a really big like stalemate happen, especially early on, which what we've seen with Clan Blitz recently, where for like the first 2 minutes nobody scores.
Yeah, that's been my experience, especially with this map mode. There really is a choke point as you're moving up to the opponent's plat there. Essentially, you have to break through a somewhat narrow area just to get close to the opponent's clam basket. And especially now that we know that Glitter Gel Pens has been running a tent composition, don't forget that tent can play aggressive, but it can also just stall for a very long time as well. And if you're White Siege, you're probably in VC right now trying to figure out, how do we deal with this tent? Do we want to play more aggro? Do we want to play less aggro? I'm really curious to see how they choose to deal with them here.
So, I mean, going into this, they're thinking, what can we do to combat this? Because I feel like the tent could also be really good here, because you pop that tent, you have the super clap, boom, you throw it in there to start the push. And that's kind of like what happened similarly on Rainmaker. They're able to pick it up, throw that tent shield down, and then just run with the shield, and they were able to get an extra like 10 points off of that. So I think tent's going to be really helpful for here. So White Siege needs to try to use something to combat that, try to get rid of that shield if they do have it, maybe even use a little bit more object shredder, or just focus it a little bit more to get it out of the way, so that those extra scoring just don't happen.
Yeah, indeed. And that in my mind, knowing the opponent has a tent player or is capable of playing tent is really the first step in dealing with them at all. So now, even though they might be one down in the set, White Siege does have the advantage of knowledge. And let's see, as these loadouts come out, what things are going to look like. The tent does return with the Flingsa roller, and it looks like we're going to see a bucket and ballpoint come out from the side of White Siege along with the Dapples.
And we do see that ballpoint out for the side of White Siege along with the tent. I knew they would return with the tent for Glitter Gel Pens, and they do exactly that. So going right into this game, I feel like we're going to see a little bit of a point where both teams haven't made much progress and they're just fighting over mid and clams. So I think both teams are going to wait a little bit, try to take control over mid, and just try to gather those clams. And right away, we do see the Dapples going down there, and the rest of the members of White Siege are getting missiled.
I like the combination. As soon as they saw they had advantage, Glitter Gel Pens, they decided to pop those missiles there. They're actually able to get 2 kills up on the opponent's block here. There's only 2 members left alive. However, they are using the Inkjet to try to stall things. Now take a look at the tent's positioning here. They're using their Zuka. They are being taken out, but essentially what they've done is distracted White Siege for just long enough to allow them to get kind of back into mid, and now we've sort of stabilized here. No one has made a push yet, and we're fairly equal in terms of clams. Missiles coming out a second time to try to push White Siege back just slightly. It looks like nothing but stall this game.
Ooh, the triple from the Reef Slider. That was amazing from the Dapples. And now Glitter Gel Pen is pushing really far into White Siege's base.
Yeah, the triple from the Reef Slider really was what they needed to start this push off. They have 17 clams. They have a 3v4 advantage. No, make that a 4v1 advantage. It's just the tent alive. That's Gamer there going to take on the tent. They're going to get this kill. It's 3 down a second time. Do they have follow-up? And yes, they absolutely do, Matt. How are they going to come back from this one?
And now down to 47, and a little bit more claims. I think they do have another super coming in. They're down to 38, down to 18. That is going to be really good for Glitter Gel Pen. No, that's not Glitter Gel Pens. That's White Siege. Down to 18, and that's going to be a huge push for them in Glitter Gel Pens. They're going to take a second. They want to get everything situated. They want to get as many picks as possible, but the Dapples doing really good, taking out whoever they need. They're 2 down on the side of Glitter Gel Pens, and they have more claims to have another push.
This is incredible performance from the Dapples. Not only did they get the triple on the Reef Slider to start the push, they have been taking out the tent on every opportunity they've had. They're in a 1v1. They're able to take down Pink here, pulling out yet another Reef Slider, getting yet another kill, and able to get all the way down to 10 on yet another power clam throw. This is a 10-100 lead against Glitter Gel Pens at this point, Matt.
That is going to be huge for them going into these last 2 minutes. And now they have 2 specials ready. The hero shot goes down. This is going to be really risky for them. They have time, but if they keep staggering like this, White Siege just might as well take this game and put them into that game 3 scenario. But both teams doing a really good job of playing this defense. But as I said, White Siege just needed a little bit more aggression, and look at what they're doing.
You know, this has to be like the third push, and it is just enough to seal the entire game there. I am incredibly impressed with how far forward that the Dapples and the Tri-Slosher from White Siege were able to play that game. You commented on it right as it happened, Matt, but that triple from the Reef Slider on the side of White Siege opened up the door so wide for their team, and it wasn't just one single push. It was continued aggression from the side of White Siege that essentially allowed them to knock out. And don't forget, folks, we've seen very few knockouts today. We've seen most of these games going the full distance, and now as we're at 1-1, Glitter Gel Pens won against White Siege, we're moving into a basically tie-breaking game 3, and this will determine which team goes 4-1 for the day, or 3-1 for the day, and which team ends up 2-2.
And I think this is the first time we've ever seen a one-on-one scenario here.
It is, yeah.
We've seen a lot of 2-0s. We've seen a few 2-0. We've seen two of our sets, team 2 were 2-0, and then the other team got the point off of them. Last set we saw a 3-0, and now it's 1-1 now. So a little bit more variety in these sets, and I think definitely as this is the end of groups, as we're coming to the end of the group stage, a lot of the teams that are fighting right now are really close together. So the seeding really put these two teams together here because of how similar in skill level they've been playing this tournament. And now that it's 1-1, it comes down to this last Splat Zones Museum game.
It all comes down to this. So like we said earlier, I think White Siege learned what GGP was bringing. They knew Glitter Gel Pens had the tent, most likely bringing it back, and they countered with the strategy of playing further forward. Now Glitter Gel Pens knows how White Siege plays. They know that they can play super aggressive. They play off of those Reef Sliders. They play off the picks that they get. I feel like this is a neutral position for both teams. They know what to expect from the other team. They know how to play. They now just need to execute. And the difficulty with executing is you're now playing on a map mode combination that you haven't before. Splat Zones, you said this earlier, is paint the ground, but also get the picks that you need to paint the ground. And I'm really curious to see how this will compare for Rainmaker versus Clamblitz for these two closely matched teams.
Yeah, and I mean, you have that middle tower area to block off paint, so these teams are definitely going to go around sides, and they're going to have to face each other if they want to paint that zone. So I feel like it's going to be a really back to forth game. These two teams have brought a lot on the table, and I definitely feel like on the side of GGP, they're going to bring back that Plingza alongside that tent. So let's see what comps they are going to be showing us. And no, they're not bringing tent or Plingza.
I am very interested by that. I kind of was expecting the tent to remain and most likely Flingza, but we actually see the custom jet squelcher and the 96 gal deco along with the Nautilus on the side of Glitter Gel Pens. It seems like they've basically changed up their entire comp. Let's see how this works for them.
And right away, we do see Winter going down there. There comes that Kraken out from GGP, and they're going to get these first takes onto the zone here. And they are really going to start this game off just 30 seconds in. GGP, they have that zone, and they want to keep it, but White Siege isn't going to let them have it easily, as they do have some specials out, and they are going to be capping that zone, and that's going to be a take for them. The Reef Slider coming in here to try to take down, and they do get a pick there. We do see one of the members of GGP jumping out here, but it looks like White Siege is now taking control.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this last game, but it seems that White Siege plays off of a Reef Slider advantage, and they just did that a second time in this Zones game. Look how far White Siege is pushed up at this point. We have two members up on the opponent's class. That's both Spree and Gamer. Gamer's trying to get this cheeky little pick from behind, and it doesn't work out for them, but they do lose a member in the process. Already, White Siege has pushed to 41. It looks like Glitter Gel Pens is going to need to come up with a really fast answer, and having already lost their Jet Squelcher, I'm not sure what they're going to do here.
I mean, they're trying to pin out with that rain there. Winter goes down, and they are trying to pin as much as possible with the Zuka coming in there. They're getting taken out 2 down on the side of White Siege, and GGP is trying to pay over that zone desperately, and they do get it. They do get the cap at the 18 mark for White Siege, so they do have a good lead established, but if they get pushed back here, that's going to be really hard for them to push back, so they want to keep up with this aggression, though their rain is out, so they do need to be careful. They do have 2 specials ready.
Critical play from Winter there. I was asking what do they need to do, but no, another Reap Slider coming out from the Dapples player on the side of White Siege, able to neutralize the zone. They're going to go for the cap here. It's actually not capped in anyone's favor at this point as the rain from the Nautilus comes across and one trades out on either side. This really could go in anyone's favor. I'm surprised it's gone this long without a cap, and it's going in GGP's favor. I don't think they know that the Dapples are here. Dapples are backing up to try to preserve their life. I think they're going to play for the same Reap Slider as before. They get the Reap Slider and they get the cap.
And that's gonna be really good from 2 down on the side of GGP. White Siege looking very strong here, 3 down, and they get that cap, and their penalty is taken away. So GGP, they gotta get ready, because the second that penalty goes down, that clock really starts to tick fast. So they need to get these specials and they need to get the picks ready. But White Siege looking really strong here with the double fizzy.
Absolutely. I'm a little surprised we don't see White Siege as far forward as they were on the previous push. Maybe they've said, okay, we have enough of a lead that we'd prefer to sort of turtle up and back up slightly already. The Kraken from Winter coming in again, that seems to be what's been opening the door for them on each of those pushes. But don't forget, they still have about a 30-point deficit to overcome, and that is notwithstanding the penalty. So they still have about 15 points of penalties and another 30 points here. And by this Jets... excellent shot coming out from Tesseract on the side of White Siege is going to make this very difficult for them.
And now, again, this penalty's now ticking down even faster, so GGP needs to be even faster here if they want to push back. And now, as you said before, now they're right on that plet there. The hero shot getting taken out there. The Dapples being that such a great distraction for the Tri-Slasher to come in for the kill. And the Kraken's trying to take out that try now. And they're doing some moves over him, but no, they get taken out there. But if you look, it looks like White Siege's penalty is now out. And now this cock is really taken for GGP. They need to rush it now, but they go 2 down there. The ball point goes down on the side of White Siege. But it looks like with the pin that they're keeping up there, White Siege gets the KO, and they're going to take the set 2-1 over GGP.
That was an incredible reverse sweep from White Siege. Coming out from the initial Rainmaker game, we saw a pretty solid win for Glitter Gel Pens, winning by about, I think, 20 to 30 points on that Rainmaker game. And White Siege just really showing, okay, we know approximately how you play. Let's adapt off of it to get the victory in both of these latter 2 games. But still, major credit to Glitter Gel Pens. They significantly changed up their comp, and had some of those interactions gone slightly differently, I think we could have seen that game 3 definitely go in favor of Glitter Gel Pens. So major props to both teams, super well played from both. And actually, with that last game, that concludes our group stage of Little Squid League 32. Our Swiss stage is over, and we will next be moving into Top Cut. So I think that actually ends it here for us, Matt. I think
It does. So since that is the end for us, where can they find you, Nada?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at NatoNXT. Don't use it frequently. Where can they find you, Matt?
You can find me at Matthew Mega. I commentate a lot of tournaments, including low-level and mid-level tournaments. So you see me around all the time. And with that being said, that concludes the LSL 32 group stage. And we're going to be moving on to more commentators for Top Cut shortly.